I don't know anything about, and I'm hoping we all gonna learn together. Okay. Okay. So, welcome. Thank you for coming to hang out with us this evening. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with us, and I definitely appreciate it. So, tonight, normally, what I do is we go into the chat, we say hello to everyone who has come to join us tonight. All of our regulars, our YouTube Hoop Group members here on YouTube, definitely thank you so very much for coming in here tonight. I already got two bell ringings to do. So thank you for being here, but we're going to have to cut some of that short because we have a special guest with us tonight. So I told you guys that we got some really cool things up and coming, and the special guest tonight is going to help make it that all apparent, and I'm super excited so that you guys can meet our guest. A lot of you already know her, which is super cool, but I'm going to introduce you to that. So if you have any issues with Photoshop, designing with Photoshop, learning Photoshop, techniques in Photoshop, well, tonight is the show for you. Okay. So before we get started, I definitely want to point out that our Rhinestone mechanic, you guys know Dennis, know and love him so very much. Well, guess what, y'all? The Olympics is about to be on and popping if they haven't started already. I can't keep up. I can't even keep up with myself. But we have some really awesome Olympic themed rhinestone designs that are on sale for us tonight in our group. You know how it works. The first 24 hours, those designs are $5. And then after 24 hours, they go up. So if you want to grab those hot designs, go ahead and take care of that. The link is in the chat. Now, first things first, Miss Sharon Davenport came up in here earlier today and she dropped a super chat on us. So we want to say thank you, sister. Thank you, sister. Thank you, super chat. I'm too excited. I'm getting tongue tied. Thank you, Sharon Davenport, for the super chat. Holla. Yes, honey. Yes. Thank you so very much for the super chat. And then Willie Roseman, thank you for your super sticker. Holla. Yes, honey. Yes. Y'all know it's crazy in here. And then we want to say thank you to Miss D. Smith for being a member for 15 months. Holla. Yes. That's what's up. Thank you so very, very much. Now, again, I have a special guest backstage. I'm getting ready to bring her up. And like I said, a lot of you guys already know her. Oh my goodness, Miss Leela Nelson got her new baby lock. Brilliant. That's right. Congratulations, Leela Nelson. Holla. Yes, honey. Yeah. So I'm going to warn you ahead of time. If you got a new baby, let me know now. But we will bring those up probably a little bit later in the show and ring the bell a little bit later. So let us know. Mr. McQuackins will mark those messages for me, and we'll do our bell ringing for a little bit later. But let's go ahead and bring up our special guest we have with us tonight, Dr. Shanon. Welcome, Dr. Shanon. Welcome. Thank you for coming to hang out with us tonight. So you guys, this is our Photoshop expert for the night. She is here. We are going to do a project together. It is Sublimation with Bling, but there's a little something extra about tonight's show.
Thank you so
much. Come in with us, please. Sorry.
And first of all, I have to just say to you, you are absolutely amazing. Your community is amazing. The way that you pour into your people, Lord, we have a lot in common. Let's just say that. So first of all, I want to give you your flowers right here in front of everybody because you do your thing and you really do. You care genuinely for your community. So I like this whole bell thing, and I don't know if I need to get me a bell
too. We'll get a bell right out.
So I just I wanted to give a brief understanding of what we can do with Sub and Bling because I know you are the absolute hands down Bling queen. Your products are phenomenal. Listen, Eve, you can be humble, but I'm gonna tell you something about your God-given gift. It's that the reason why I call you the Bling Queen is because you disseminate that information to other people. You help other people win with your information. You help other people win with your resources. You help other people win with your buy-ins, where they can literally buy into the same resources that you purchase at a fraction of the cost that it should be cost in retail. Like, there's not a lot of people out there who are going to do their community like that and help other people rise up as well. So I
Thank
have
you.
to say, Eve, like, that is truly, like, when I call you the Bling Queen, that's what I mean. It's
Thank
not
you.
just how masterful you are at something, it's how many people can you raise with you while you're coming up.
Amen on that. There's a lot of folks that won't do that. So thank you. I do appreciate that. Sometimes
Absolutely.
it's hard to get that message through sometimes though, but thank you.
Of course, you deserve it. So I did want to ask a little bit first, looking at
Okay.
the comments and see, is anyone here already familiar with doing sublimation plus bling on top, like blinging out certain parts of the sublimation design? If you're already into that, can you let us know in the chat? Give us a one in the chat. Give us an idea if you're already doing that. And if you're not doing that and you're interested in learning that, can you give us a two in the chat? So one, if you're already doing it, two, if like, nah, not yet, but if y'all gonna show me how to do it, I'm ready to rock out. Okay,
Oh yeah.
okay. Awesome.
Oh, we got quite a
Amazing.
few too.
Okay. Now
Okay.
I can give you an example, and this is something me and Eve worked out as a project. We were just playing together a little bit, and we have a design, and in that design, there's like some of these stones right here. Y'all can see on the lips, on just the lips. Now, if you're not quite understanding how to do that type of custom file, then I think we have something special for you tonight. So, Eve, how much time do we have? Do we want to show them the Photoshop and how to break it down to bling it?
Oh yeah.
Because we're not doing a full
So
demonstration of everything, because we don't we that,
right,
that's definitely some time. But do you want me to show
right.
them the Photoshop side of things?
Please, that would be awesome. Now we normally we're here from 9 to 11. So you got a
Uh-huh.
good hour and a half to play and then we can wrap things up. But I already cut out my part of the template. I also already printed the design so we can sublimate a
Perfect.
shirt as well after you're done.
Oh,
So yeah, that works.
awesome. Okay, so I'll do the screen share on my end, and you can do the demo, the physical demo on your end, and that's going to be perfect. All right, y'all. So I see a whole bunch of twos. The twos are still coming in. All right, Eve. So, and the baby's booty, yo, we're going to get to work. And then also, Innate Academy, I know you all are online as well. I can't see but one screen at a time, but y'all let me know if y'all have any questions or need anything along the way. If I go a little too quick, it's okay. We're going to have the replay, but I just want you all to get the general concept tonight so you can see if this is something that you are interested in doing. All right, so I am working in Photoshop. So just a disclaimer, anybody afraid of Photoshop, I promise you we make it super simple. This is a template. All right. Maybe later we can show you how to do the same thing in Canva and some other programs, but Photoshop is our friend. All right. So what I want to do first is tell you what I would turn into stones. First, I'm going to choose something that if I use this template, if I use this design, I'm not going to have to turn a different word into stones every single time. You want to be strategic about what it is that you bling out. Now, I'm also going to tell you be strategic about the size that you bling out, because before these lips were a lot bigger. And then Eve told me, "Ooh, Shannon, that's going to be expensive to bling because those lips are huge." And that was over 1,000 stones, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is the reason why mentorship matters, and this is also the reason why collaboration matters. Because in my head, I'm not pricing how many stones that is, or how long that's going to take to cut, or how expensive that's going to be to put on a shirt. But I do understand the concept of shrinking the size down a little bit and also making it more economical. Okay, so y'all got the right coach here. Eve is definitely putting y'all up on game. All right, so now that we have the lips are a certain size, I'm going to show you what I would do quickly to go ahead and choose this part of the design. So hopefully you all can see my screen here.
Yes. They can
All
see it.
right, perfect. All right, so what I'm going to do is look for the part of the design. I'm going to click on the lips and go to the lips here, and I'll extend this so you all can see. All right, and first I'm going to choose the outside of lips. I'm going to hold down Control And I'm clicking on the thumbnail here. What it does is makes these little marching ants around the perimeter of my image. Now, I just so happen to have like the inside of the mouth. I don't want to bling that too. I only want to bling the outside of the lips. So I'm going to take and I'm going to make way above my file here. I'm just going to make a straight up solid color. Okay, and see how it automatically made it to the shape of the lips. Now I'm going to make it black. Why? Because black is the easiest to contrast. And if you're ever wanting to vector something, the more contrast you have, the better. So what we're going to do is bring it into the silhouette program later, and we're going to actually use this to create a custom shape. All right, but I need to cut out the inside of the mouth here. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to control click on the inside of the mouth here, but it selected everything but the inside. So it selected the outside meat. So what I'm going to do is do select inverse. All right, so now I have just the inside of the mouth selected. And then I'm going to come here to my layer mask. I'm going to make sure that black is in the background there. And then I'm going to hit delete. Now what it did when I hit delete, it didn't delete my picture at all. It just deleted part of the layer mask. Now what I can do is I can shut off everything else, and boom, I have a quick little image here that I can pull in the silhouette and do some fun stuff with, okay? So that's exactly what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna go to File, and then I'm gonna save a copy. I'm gonna save a copy of this as a PDF, okay? So I'm going to PDF, Adobe PDF. All right, and then I want to take off the layers. I don't want it to save all those heavy layers. I just want it to be this file here. And then what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and label this as the silhouette so that I know this is what I'm going to cut. Then I'll go ahead and hit save here. And I'm going to make a separate file here. Nope, I'll put it in here. I'm just going to put YT for YouTube so we know this was our full YouTube demo. All right, we'll go ahead and save that. Now, in addition to this, I'm also going to save the printable file. Okay, so for instance, after you have already, you can put in my teacher era, in my vacation era, in my Libra era. You can put whatever you want here. Right now it's in my Innate era because that is the name of my business is Innate Academy. So I'm creating this for my business. And I would love to give you all a tip. If you all are walking out the house not wearing your brand, I promise you, I'm wearing my brand right now. I wore it on the plane. A man stopped me who owned a business. He was right behind me in line as we were waiting to board the plane. He said, "What's Innate Academy?" And I, told him about the business because the reason why it was on my suitcases, on my dress. And he said, "Oh, wow. Well, I own a company where we do 3D and virtual reality and augmented reality, and we do it to teach. So I was interested in your business because it's an academy." Listen, everywhere you go that you wear your brand, somebody's going to notice. They may not say anything right away, but they will notice. So if a challenge could be just make something that blings with your brand on it, that's all we have to talk about tonight. All right. That'll definitely be a marketing tool for you. All right. So let's go ahead and get this ready for print. Simply what I would do to make it something that can't move around anymore after you did your design, go to File, and then we're going to same thing, save a copy. I'm going to go inside the YouTube folder, and then I'm going to call this one my Sublimation. I'll do sub print. So I'll know that this is precisely the one I need to print. Now I need to save the file again as the PDF. I don't want to save the layers because I just want it to be a flat, simple file. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. All right. And then from there, this is the fun part. This is the stuff y'all know better than me. Okay. So
like a lot of silhouette experts in here.
Oh yeah, y'all know this stuff better than me. As a matter of fact, when we were when Eve and I were working on this project together, She told me some things inside of the program. I was like, oh, it does that and it does this. Oh, great. So I can imagine what something it can do just because I'm heavy on the Photoshop expert side. So just knowing that helps me learn these other programs. But you all are heavy on this side way more than me. So you'll be able to be innovative in this space. Truly, if you just understand a little bit about Photoshop, you'll be able to be so innovative in this space. All right. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring open a file here, this one here, because without doing all the steps right in front of you, because it does take a little bit of energy and time to do that, I'm just going to walk you through the steps with the visual representation. And then if I have time, I'll actually step through each one. Okay. Because this does take up just a little bit of time. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in here, doing Control Plus, which by the way, works in Photoshop too. If you do Control Plus in Photoshop, it works. Also, another shortcut, this is the same as Photoshop and Silhouette. If you Alt click and drag, it duplicates something. So there are a lot of things that are the same functions in Canva, Photoshop, and Silhouette. All right, so first thing we're going to do, I'm following these directions right here. And if I move a little fast, like I said, it's okay. It's going to be recorded for you, okay? So we're going to go File, Merge, and we're going to get the PDF that we just created. So File, Merge, and we're going to find that one in the YouTube folder. And I don't see my YouTube. Oh, you know what? I think I put it in a different folder. Let me find that folder. Just a moment. 273. There we go. There's our YouTube folder. So we're going to bring in just that silhouette that we created. All right, and I'm just duplicating these steps for y'all, so it'll be easy to come back later too. All right, and let me zoom out because I don't know where it went. It probably went in the middle of the artboard. And this is another thing that works the same as Photoshop. I call it the Michael Jackson glove. You hold down the space bar and you can kind of push it around. So Michael Jackson glove works on this one too. So first step is just pulling it in, right? Next, you Alt click and drag, which like I said, works in Photoshop too. Alt click and drag just makes it a duplicate. And then you're going to go ahead and trace this out. And y'all, please give me some grace on this one. I'm going to select my trace area. Come right here. Or did I select my trace area? No, it was working. Mm-hmm. It's just I was being a little impatient. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and trace this out, which it just did. And then, of course, now I can delete that out. So that just created our trace line there. Now, here's an important part that I didn't realize that I needed to do until I needed to do it. But I'm going to Alt click and drag this one up here so I can duplicate this next step. Is to do an internal offset. So I'm going to go to the offset feature here, and I'm doing an internal offset. And for this particular one, I'm going to do 0.05 inches. Now, what that does is sometimes if you don't do this, it will also include the outline. Now that's cool, but if you like to draw your lipstick outside of your lips, then that's what it'll do. It'll put extra stones like around the lips. But if you want it to be, make sure that it's tight inside of the area of the lips, then you just want to basically give it an opportunity to be a little bit smaller there. And then what I do is go ahead and make the inside piece a different color. So I'll make it purple here just to show you. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I think I made the outside purple. So as long as I know the bigger one is the one I want to get rid of, I'm going to delete that one. And now my new path is just a tiny bit smaller. So let's make it teal, just so I'll know it's a little bit different as we're following along. So what I'm doing, instead of saving these steps, I'm just kind of moving along. So that's my internal inset. This is the part we're on right now. See how it matches up? All right, so now let's bring it down to the next step. Next step is, now this is where I got the information from Eve. Now I can't take credit for this. She says 10 SS stones and 0.05 spacing. That's the key, okay? So what I'm going to do is go over to the rhinestone right here. And what I like to do is choose the rhinestone. Like I did not know that this existed. I don't know if this is like a newer feature because I done this about 2 years ago, and I don't think we had this option right here. But we can choose the 10SS stones, and I'm going to choose the clear ones. And then you can set your settings here to 0.05. And what I like to do is choose the radial. Oh, I think I gave y'all different options. So here it is. I'm going to show you the different options here. So if you just wanted to do the outline of the lips, which would of course be faster and it would be a lot less stones, you've got this option for these settings. If you want to fill it in with the, and I didn't really like the linear option. It just doesn't look that nice for me for this particular application. So we went with the radial, okay? And then radial, sometimes you'll still have to tweak it a little bit, and I won't show exactly tweaking it because that will take a little bit of time, just a little bit of time. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the radial feature. And I clicked on it. I think sometimes, especially when it's doing this preview, it takes a little bit of time. And make sure I clicked on it with all my settings. Be patient, Shannon. There it goes. Okay. I was about to click on something else. I was like, did I miss something? But inside of this, then at this point, you can go ahead and you can release them. And then you can go ahead and edit. Now, like I said, Eve does this so much better than me. I'm sure you all do this better than me as well. But maybe you want to take, did I release it?
It could take a while. Usually
Oh,
releasing or all of that stuff takes a good while.
okay. Well, maybe
But
I'm being
I think
impatient.
ungroup worked as well. I think you did ungroup one time before.
Yeah, we did ungroup
Mhm.
before. Let me see. Let's do ungroup instead. There, that's faster. Okay, so then you all could take this, hold down Alt, and it'll make a copy of that stone. And just make sure you're giving yourself a little bit of space around the stone because you definitely want to be able to cut a great stencil. And when I tell you, you could use this over and over and over again because the part of the design that you're blinging out is something that you change the words, but the lips pretty much stay the same. Even if you
Right.
change the design inside the lips, like this is perfect. Um, Now, Eve, you have any input on this part here? Because you know this is your jam right here.
No, for that one, I pretty much just arrange them in such a way that is aesthetically pleasing to myself. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, trying to keep in mind that you can't have any stones overlapping and you can't have any stones too close together because once
Right.
you cut the design out in the flock, you need to have adequate spacing for the flock to come up off of the backing or off of the mat and not rip your holes.
Right.
So that's why that spacing is so important. But another point that I didn't bring out that I meant to
Mm-hmm.
is keep in mind, you guys, this is being shown to you because there are so many instances where you can take one type of a design. Like, for instance, she said that the design that she made says in her innate era, whereas you could take the word, keep this exact same format, the same lips, the same font, the same color scheme, the same background, and make it say in my rhinestone era or in
Yeah.
my summertime era. And like she also mentioned, if you remember the original design, the in my NA era, there was a pattern on the lips. As you see the pretty butterfly with the multicolor, you can change that. It doesn't have to stay butterflies. So if you're doing this for a customer and your customer says, "Man, I'm not feeling that. Can you make the lips solid gold?" And the word era solid gold, where it looks like a bar of gold. And then you could use the clear stones over the top of it to really make that gold pop. There's all kinds of ways you could take that, but you can take this one template and take her class and showing how to take that one template and change it up to fit what your customer wants. And then you don't ever have to change the size of the lip for the rhinestones. You don't ever have to change your rhinestone template. All you do is just change your wording or change the designs in it and make money off of it. That's the whole point in us coming together to show you guys how you can take one set design and change it, tweak it a couple of ways for your customer and add the rhinestones that are already set there for you and use it to your benefit and change it to what your customer. I mean, that's the name of our game, customization. Really, that's
Absolutely.
all it boils down to. Your customer wants what your customer wants. Your customer may not want an N8 shirt. So make what your customer wants so that you can make money off of it. So I
Absolutely.
neglected to mention that earlier, and I apologize. But I just that was the coolest thing for me, and why I was like, okay, yeah, we definitely need to show this to folks because if you can just keep one thing, but and keep the one rhinestone template and never have to change that rhinestone template, but the design itself
Hmm.
technically changes, that's a game changer. It really is.
And you got back to school coming back up too. You have sports. So this could say, in my senior era,
Yep.
and y'all could be ready for back to school and graduation season before anybody else is even thinking about it. Just that quick,
Right. Look,
right?
she changed it that quick. She could even put maybe graduation caps on the lips or something. I don't know what
Hey,
would go good with
as a
that, but
matter
I'm
of
just
fact,
saying.
that
Or
might
in
even
the
be a
school
pattern
colors,
now. Yeah,
even
absolutely.
in the school colors. And the lips never change. So your
Hmm.
rhinestone overlay will never change. So you can constantly, if you learn Photoshop, which is what the purpose of the class, we have a sign up where you can, if you're interested in taking the Photoshop class to learn how to do this and do the rhinestones, there is a, okay, maybe let's see how many are really interested. Click the link and sign up for it in the chat, in the description. And I'll drop it in the chat too.
Okay. Are y'all is this something you all would be interested in learning, like hands on, like with help on the Photoshop side, also on the Bling side?
Let us know. But so far, it's super cool, especially how you can change the temp. Look, I don't know it all. I swear I don't. And that Photoshop messes with a heifer, y'all. I'm like, okay, thing mask. What no. Okay, wait a minute. So like, I'm gonna have to take the class about 14 times to get it down and to get the understanding right. But once you understand, the sky's the limit. And she has other classes to show how you can take this same technique, the same technique, y'all, and make other sublimation things and make money off of it. I watched one class and I was flabbergasted. And I'm sitting here like, how can you change the color of flowers? I don't that's not the color that I brought it in. It was blue and you done changed it to pink. How? So it's cool to learn all these different things. So you got quite a few folks in there. Thank you for posting the link. But quite a few folks in here that are interested. So please click the link because this is a academy class that we're looking at putting on for you guys.
Yes, and if you all would love this kind of collaborative course, I love it because I don't have to be the expert in the stones and how to apply them. Although, from what Eve taught me, where did my sample go? Oh, it's on my left. From what Eve taught me, I was able to do these stones here. Y'all, these are the crushed ice stones. And she's going to show you all in just a little bit, like how to actually apply them and stuff. But the crushed ice on top of the sublimation, I can still see the design through it because it doesn't
Yes,
have the foil backing. And when I
yes.
heard that she had, I didn't know those type of stones existed. I thought I was gonna have to invent them. But y'all, she came through with these, and y'all, I got for days. And it's, you don't have to just use the clear stones. Like, you can go in and you can use red stones for the lips and
Yep. Yep.
outline the text or whatever if you wanted to. It's just, I don't suggest doing text. It's going to change because that means you're going to have to make a different stencil every time somebody orders from you. But if you do this and you can get this kind of thing popping, let me tell you another thing. Doing like a logo for a school and then like having a real, like gorgeous design and just having a part of it that blings out. Moms of the
Mhm.
athletes always want something different every week. They don't never want to be wearing the same shirt every week. And if you just targeted that, especially for the back to school season, targeted the football moms because football is going to be crazy heavy. And then they could even have a picture of their kid on their shirt with a certain part of it blinged out. And
Mm-hmm.
the logo, y'all are going to be doing some phenomenal things. I cannot wait to see, because when we teach you this part, then you'll know how to do it for other templates or even other designs that you can pull into Photoshop and do the exact same thing.
Yeah. So let's go over to the table if that's okay.
No, let's go.
And
Let's
take
go.
a look at getting this template brushed in. I did go ahead and cut it, y'all, because y'all know how Cricut is. Cricut is out here with the slow cutting. So I said, well, we're gonna go ahead and get it cut out ahead of time. I also have my shirt ready. I do have a market maker market. What's the name of this from? Make Market from what's the name of them people? Michael's. So I have that. Here's the template. I gotta cut it out. It's right in here for the lips. Also, I went ahead with my sawgrass and cut out the template. So here is the 8.5 by 11 size because
Mhm.
my sawgrass is the sawgrass 500 SG 500. So I can only do 8.5 by 11. But in the class, she'll show how you can make it if you're able to do the 10 by 13. No, not 10 by 13. What is it? 13
13
by
by
something.
19. Hmm.
13 by 19 to make it even bigger. She'll show you how to do that. And then the same principle applies. You will have your rhinestone template that you can bring in and make it to fit. And then you can always use it every single time. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the heat press on. And then that way that's done. And then let's go ahead and pull this off of the mat. So the way I cut mine on the Cricut, I leave my backing on. Not everyone does that, and that's fine, but I choose to do mine that way. So let's move this. And then that makes it easy for when I go to peel it, the stones generally stay behind. You may have some, like there's a few that didn't. So in that instance, I either use my lint roller, or in this instance, I'm just going to stick it to the surface of the cutting table and then pull those extra stones off.
And Eva, I have to say your materials are so great. I used your stencil material, and I usually have problems with some of mine, like so many of them not pulling up like that. Yours did phenomenal. All I had to do was, like you just did, stick it to the table, and all those little few. I had three pieces, only three pieces.
I'm glad it worked out for you. The thing is, you do need to calibrate your cutter
Mm-hmm.
to cut the material, and some people try to use the calibration of someone else, and that's not
Ah.
always going to work for you. So you really kind of want to test your machine by doing some test cuts, and
Mm-hmm.
once you do your test cuts, then you can get it in. I was looking for my cutting mat material, but I'm just going to do this for right now. So here's the lips, and as you see, that's really close inside. So once we brush this in, it should perfectly overlay this template or this design. Then I have crushed ice AB, and I kind of want to show this as well. So crushed ice AB is a clear stone. I don't know how well you can see my fingers moving behind the stones, but the AB has a different coating on it, and that coating allows a clear stone that's normally super clear like this is the exact same stone, but this one just has an extra coating on it. So we have, ours is called crushed ice. It's just a clear stone. And then we have crushed ice AB, but we
Mm-hmm.
also have two other clear stones that you can use, and this one is frost ice and this one is called
Ooh.
frost fire. So frost ice and frost fire are clear, but they also have other properties. Like for instance, if I were to put frost ice and frost fire on blue, on sorry, black, you see how it reflects that pretty blue color.
Mm.
It's kind of like it morphs into other colors. It's kind of neat. And each color that you put it on, it'll have a similar property. Like here's red, and you see how it looks on red. It didn't quite reflect the blue as strong. Whoops, but it still reflects different on different colors. So frost fire and frost ice are clear as well. So when you're looking at sublimating and then putting rhinestones on top of the sublimation, your clear stones are going to be your friends. Yes, you can still use regular stones. So don't think that you can't, especially if you're putting stones over the top of a solid color. It kind of makes the solid color pop. So even
Mhm.
if you are using a sublimated image, it works best if you use the regular stones on a solid color so that you can see the pretty design in the background. You want to stick with your clear stones. Okay. So with this one, we're going to go with the crushed ice AB. Did you use crushed ice or crushed ice AB?
I used the crushed ice AB on this one.
Okay.
I was
Let's
gonna
show.
test out the crushed ice clear
Okay.
tomorrow because
Okay.
I got really excited about this.
Let's test out the crushed ice right here. Now, crushed ice, I'm going to warn some of us ahead of time because the stones are clear. They are very clear. So once you go to brush them in, if they're upside down, it kind of has like a little shimmer to it. But if they're right side up, they'll disappear on you. So you kind of gotta, be careful while you're brushing them in and look pretty hard. I try to brush them in on a color surface like this purple right here. I'm able to see them a little bit better because I have a color background instead of like a white background.
Mm.
Um, it does help, but we're gonna brush this in. And then once you get all your stones brushed in, then we'll get some hot fix tacky tape. So we sell all of the supplies to go with this. But now this is for those who may not be familiar with us here at the Baby's Booty. We do sell the stones and the supplies that you need to do this type of a project, with the exception of the sublimation printer. I don't have sublimation supplies, but I believe Dr. Shannon does.
Yeah, we have sublimation paper and ink and even some substrates. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got to start doing more collaborations because together we make some fire stuff.
Yeah, we gotta get folks to make this money because it's out there for those that want to make it.
That's
Now
true.
again, I always let you know you're not forced to do any of this. And if you're wanting to do this for friends and family, that's great too. That's commendable. But at the same time, if you're wanting to do this and make money, it was a good idea. I hadn't thought of making a template that doesn't change before. Um, we're used to making a rhinestone template, and if you want something different, then you have to make a whole different template for it. Not in this instance. You do one set of lips, and then you can actually create multiple designs off of this one template. And that's the part that has me excited about what this video is doing for us today, this live. No, this will not work on DTF. Thank you, Jesse Gibson. So DTF, for whomever asked, because I missed the question. Um, DTF is like a plastic almost.
Hmm.
So once you press it to the shirt, it is something that will stick to the surface of the shirt. So your DTF, your screen print, your vinyl, none of that the rhinestones will stick to and stay stuck to. Let me rephrase that. It will not stay stuck. So the sublimation, on the other hand, the fibers of the shirt actually absorb the ink. So once the shirt absorbs the ink, you're left feeling nothing but a shirt. You don't feel the ink, you don't feel any plastic or anything like that. So that's why you can put rhinestones on top of sublimation as opposed to any of the other processes that's out there. So I'm gonna pre-press this shirt, and I didn't see. I may have to scroll to see any other questions. Did anyone else have any other questions? That was a good question,
Yeah, that was
actually.
a great question. And I would just add to that, if you are going to do DTF or like try to combine it with vinyl, and I'm sure you all know this, just knock out a part of that design that you want to expose the fabric, like you just have to make sure it's clear in that area so it will not print anything in that specific area. And as long as you're using the technique where we're talking about making the PDFs and you print the exact size, then you should be able to leave that space out. Now you won't get the beautiful print underneath it with the DTF,
Right.
but you could put stones in that area, like if you wanted to put a certain color stone in that area. So there are ways to engineer just about anything that you want to do, but definitely you get a better effect if you do sublimation and stones, like Eve said.
Yes. Now, someone asked if the design will be available for purchase. What was the link in the description for, again, the wait list?
So yeah,
Because
that's for the wait list. What we can do is anybody that joins the wait list. Now, what we do the class, we're actually going to be doing different. I think we're going to do a back to school design just to give y'all something fresh and different. So you get a brand new template. You'll get that template earlier than anybody else. But Eve, if you would like anybody that signs up to the wait list, there's a 50% off option to just purchase the template. Or there's the template and there's the AI class that went with this, but I issued a 50% off code for that if they want to just purchase that that template. But the problem with that is that it's not going to be ready for the bling because that's what we're doing in the class. So if you want to break it down like we broke it down today, at least you would have the template to do that. But I highly suggest you come to the class so that you can learn the whys and the hows, so that you understand how to do this for more than just, we're not just selling you a fish. We want to show you how to fish. We want to show you how to break down your own file and how to do everything from start to finish.
I need to change the time on my heat press. It was still set for 15 seconds.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. So here is my shirt. And I did go ahead and bling, but I put the backing back on it so that none of the stones get knocked off. Where are the stones, y'all? You see them? When I'm telling you these jokers is clear, they are clear. Like they will literally disappear. But when the light hits them the way the light needs to hit them, that sublimation is going to stand out. Okay. So let us get some butcher paper to put in the middle of the shirt because this shirt is kind of thin. Kind of thin, and we don't want anything to bleed through to the back. I'm so excited. It's been a bit. We've done a couple of shows on sublimation on top of rhinestones, but to be able to do it with a design that I can change however I want for the most part and make it different designs and keep the same template. Man, because when I tell you we have templates at the yin yang around here, it's nice to be able to use the same template over and over. So we're going to tape this down. I'm not super proficient at sublimation, but we must sublimate this shirt.
All right, this is the easy part. What you do is the hard part, the bling and setting up the files and stuff. So,
well, hopefully everybody else that comes to take the course will be just as, because that's the point, to teach you so that you can do it too. And also, if you have any other questions about Photoshop, because I cannot answer those questions. I just can't. So while you have someone here who knows Photoshop frontwards and backwards, please ask your questions. Because I'm not gonna be the one to be able to help you anytime soon until I finish taking the courses to learn Photoshop.
And I'm excited to have you in the Photoshop classes.
Yeah, I love it. The little bit that I do know, but I don't know enough. And that's,
we make it simple and fun. The graphic that we showed earlier, we call it a 5-minute template because you're able to change out the image, the text, and the colors in 5 minutes, and then the whole idea is I want you to look like you have my 25 years of Photoshop experience, but not have to actually have that in a 5-minute template flip. So if anyone here is from Innate Academy and has dealt with the templates, y'all please tell everybody not to be scared of Photoshop. And that is actually fun. And we make this thing quick, easy, and fun.
So
Whee!
I know Tampa Barbecue Queens
Oh yeah.
does Photoshop with you because I've seen her. She posts her designs and stuff all the time, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, that looks good." She does a good job with her that and her AI. Let me make sure nothing bled through on that. Okay, it didn't. So I'm gonna use that same butcher paper while the heat press cools off. Just recently purchased Affinity. Are in Affinity and Photoshop similar? I've never heard
There,
of Affinity.
there's Affinity Photo is very similar to Photoshop. Now there are some limitations. I do a lot of the way that these files work really, really quickly is because I invented something called smart colors that immediately change inside the files and stuff. And some of those features don't work in Affinity, so you have to do the manual changes. But there are ways that you can use this inside of Affinity as well. I just tell people Photoshop is $9.99 a month. And if you don't do it for anything other than flipping these templates and creating quick mock-ups, it's worth it just for that.
Mm. Well, I tell you. So just that quick, I was able to sublimate it, and I laid the rhinestones over the top,
Woo!
and see how they fit. Almost, they fit perfectly
I'm looking
inside
at
that
that
sublimation.
fine.
The teeth aren't covered, none of that. So as long as you don't move the mouth or resize the mouth, once you create or change your wording around it or change the design on the overlay of the design on the lips, you can sublimate and then bling the same thing over and over. So let's press this really quick. I'll move this up. I wish I need to set up a camera over here on my heat press. Okay, so we got 12 seconds and then we will be back with the bling and do our peel reveal.
Let's go.
Let's see, make sure I don't see any other questions. Her motto, no creative left behind, very patient. She will get you through to the other side.
Oh, thank y'all.
All right, so here's our...
Oh, go ahead, do your reveal, because that...
And there's the rhinestones.
Woo-wee!
And you can clearly see the
it.
design in the background. Oh, he want me to cut the lights off. Because he says that they bling even in the...
Listen,
they do.
They do. Look at that. Like when I tell y'all top tier products, oh my gosh.
That is pretty.
Gorgeous.
And it'll mess people up when they see it because they're looking at a t-shirt and they're like, just a basic regular old t-shirt. But then when that sparkle catch them, they're gonna be like, whoa, wait a minute, and stop and look a little bit closer. Yep. And if this is your brand, then they're already looking closer. Then they're gonna be looking closer with the brand. So Tamika says she need a red lip with candy Rhinestone.
Okay. So if you want to show the difference between the AB and the clear, I'm liking that clear. I'm trying to clear tomorrow. I'm gonna do another version of clear.
The clear is nice. It's very
subtle, but it's gorgeous and subtle. Yes.
And so that being the case, difference between Photoshop and Illustrator. I don't know what the difference is. I mean, I know Photoshop is generally pictures and photos, whereas Illustrator is graphics, right?
So Illustrator is vector based. If you think of vectors, that's what you cut with your plotters. That's what is mathematical. And that's what vectors are. Vectors is math. So if you blow it up to the size of a billboard, it's going to look the same as if you print it on a tiny, tiny little ring or something, right? But Photoshop deals in what's called bitmaps. Bitmaps are images that are made of little pixels. But if you take something that is smaller in Photoshop and you blow it up super big, those pixels start to appear. And that's the difference between the two programs. So one works specifically with vector graphics, and one works specifically with the bitmap graphics. Photoshop, if you hear it in the word, is really for photos. And Illustrator is for vector graphics, like your logos, or if you're doing, for instance, let's say you're doing a billboard. They like to design in Illustrator because you don't have to have a huge file to design a billboard, but you're limited to the graphics. If you think about what you can cut in Silhouette, those are considered vector graphics. So a lot of times it depends on what your end use is. So you can use Illustrator as well to do this type of process. I just happen to teach Photoshop because we do a lot of photographic type of works, like the programs and big backdrops, and also t-shirts, of course, that have a lot of photographic elements in them. So I use way more Photoshop than I do Illustrator, but it's
And
still a
Shaka
powerful
Ter-
program.
sorry. Shaka
Okay.
Terrell says she's excited about the collaboration. Thank you for the super chat.
All right, Shaka.
Holla.
Shaka is amazing too. I have to give Shaka a shout out because she is amazing with what she does as well, and she's always posting and always engaged. And that's what I'll tell you too. To or tell the community too, just like you said earlier, Eve, like the money is there for those who want it, who
Mm,
will really put the work to work. Because so many times we'll sit here and absorb all the information and get so caught up in the education of a thing that we don't go out there and apply it. And y'all, it's
right.
not genius. If you learn it, that makes you smart, but it's genius when you apply the knowledge. So I love to
Mm,
tell everybody, work in your mode of genius, be the genius that you were designed to be by God, because we all have that mode. And when we're in that mode, there's no way that you can be broke when you're working in your mode of
mm,
genius. Not at
mm.
all. You're going to find a way to make it when you're in your mode of genius. So I love that this kind of allowed us to both be in our modes of genius and just really do something crazy. I thought was super fun too.
Oh yeah, this is definitely fun. Um, Someone else asked, I would love to know which Photoshop is $9. There are several, and that
Ah,
confuses me.
okay. I have a link that takes you directly to the $9.99. It is confusing. I will tell you this. I'm not um I'm not above calling things out when I see it, but Photoshop tends to make you choose the one that's $20.99 a month, and it's not necessary. The only thing that $20 one does is it gives you a little bit more cloud storage space, which I suggest you don't use Adobe's cloud storage. Use your Google Drive as your cloud service, or whatever you back up your files at, because you don't need two different clouds just to work with Photoshop. So that is absolutely my take on it. Now, Eve, I don't know, is it okay to share that link with the community, the
Yes,
9.99
please.
Photoshop? Okay.
Yes, please. Get them a deal. Because I don't pay for the 9.99 one because I didn't know that it existed.
Well, definitely, and switch it up. Use that link, switch, because there's a photography one that's 20.99 and there's a photography one that's 9.99. If you look, sometimes
Wow.
they don't even show you the 9.99 one because they defaulted to the $20 one. And if you don't know there's another one, you won't select a different selection. So
Wow.
yeah, unfortunately, it's been like that for years, and I always call it out.
Let's see what other questions. Make sure. Let me see because he
Somebody asked when
started.
the class is going to be, Eve. That's a great question. That's
Okay.
why you all are here tonight with we put a wait list because we wanted to see how many people are interested. And when
Mhm.
we get at least 100 people signed up for the wait list, we will release a date for the class. And then what we'll have special is an early bird price. So if you're not on the wait list, you will never know about the early bird price. But we'll have an early bird price first, and then there's only going to be so many slots for the early bird price, and then we'll release it to everybody. So I'll release it to my community, Eva release it to her community. So if you want to be the first to know and get the best price, make sure that you've signed up tonight for the wait list link. But we're talking about doing this thing in the next couple of weeks, y'all. If y'all ready to roll, if we get a hundred, at least 100 on the wait list.
Yeah, we are definitely ready. Let's see. Hey, Delonda. Let's see. Recently purchased. Okay, we got that one. We got that one. Okay, that was the other question. Thank you for putting the question up for us and starring the questions. Let's see. I scrolled back and then I was, where do
Oh,
the
where's
list? Oh, We'll post the link again. You go find it. I still use Photoshop CS6, the last
Mhm.
non-subscription version from 2012. Works just fine. Right?
Listen, it does work, but some of the updates that Photoshop has, number one, Dennis, if you haven't played with the AI inside of Photoshop yet, that is correct. Like you're talking about, back in the day, I used to like just fade off the backgrounds and I would have to make up colors and take pieces of hair and make up hair when the photo was cut off and things of that nature. The AI inside of Photoshop does all of that for you now. So for me, it is beneficial to have that 9.99 version, because it'll give you access to the AI inside of Photoshop, number one. But the other thing is there are some updates as far as doing some of the if you look at my templates, they'll have like multiple strokes and drop shadows, and like this particular design makes it look like it's got like it's like liquid over the lips and liquid over the text, right? Um,
Mhm.
the older Photoshop program may not have all of those capabilities, so it'll be similar to how when I was telling people if they try to open the Photoshop file in Affinity, they're going to have some limitations. It'll be the
Okay.
same thing if you use the old version of Photoshop. But as far as the size of everything pulling in and printing, it will work. So for the sake of this class, it still will work for that.
TMP Customs ask about pricing bling jobs. That information
Mm,
I do go over in detail in the class. But as a generalization, you have to consider now if you're going to be doing sublimation behind it, it kind of changes the dynamics of how I
mhm,
normally price. But as far as just rhinestones, you have to take in consideration what you're putting the rhinestones on, because a hat versus a tote bag versus a sweatshirt versus a denim jacket, the price is going to be significantly different among those levels. And then we also go into the quality of the stone. So you can buy some cheaper stones off of Amazon that won't bling very much worth of anything, but then you may find some that do. Who knows? You can price our stones, and then there are other stones out there that are even more than ours. You have the Preciosa stones, you have the Swarovski stones, if you can source those. So a lot of it is also based on the materials that you use. So once you compound all of those things, then we can come up with a price that works for you. And then if you're using, like, for instance, I tell our purchasers who source our stones, I let them know you need to tell your customers these are high quality stones. These are not
mhm.
Swarovski level, but they're still very high quality stones. So you're not getting some, little plastic stones from out the hobby store. So
Right.
you have a good quality, high sparkle stone. We put our stones on good quality t-shirt material, not just, any old kind of t-shirt, and then go from there. You have to upsell and talk your customers into, or let them know what you're doing, that you're not just giving them some of anything. You're sourcing them the best. So when you're using the best sublimation ink, you're using the best t-shirt, you're using the best rhinestone, you're using the best techniques to get them a high quality, great looking design and a beautiful shirt, then
Mhm.
that costs money. That's a lot of experience, a lot of techniques, a lot of time, a lot of resources to get them something that they want, for it to look exactly the way they want it. And that's
Right.
what this particular class is going to go into, because it's not just rhinestones. You're going to be learning the Photoshop element side of it as well. And that Photoshop element takes the overlay of the rhinestones to a whole nother level. All right. And so you're going to be doing, you saw her design. Like, I've done my little raggedy sublimation and rhinestone design. It didn't look nothing like that. And you definitely couldn't take the design that I had made and change it up and keep the stones the same. That wasn't even an option, because I didn't know I could do that. Right. So that's where, in this instance, that's what makes this particular class so valuable, because you're going to be getting that technique of the Photoshop element to take design into a whole nother level that I didn't even know existed. Okay. Because
Right.
I just didn't. And then go from there and add the rhinestones on top.
So yeah, so I
Um,
think when we talk about pricing in the class, Eve, we're also talking about sublimation. It depends on, are you printing at 13 by 19, or are you printing
oh,
like
good
we did
point.
this today? I almost never print 8.5 by 11, but we did 8.5 by 11 so that we
Right.
could control the stone count, keep that down, and so that we could teach everyone has a sublimation printer that's at least 8.5 by 11. You'll be able to do that, and then we'll show you in the class also how to make it. Just like Eve said, we'll show you how to make it a 13 by 19 design. And even if you change the size of the lips because you want to print it bigger, then you're going to want to charge more because you're going to have more stones on that design than you would for the 8.5 by 11. So we'll talk about that pricing, and really this is going to be so good to get inside the Zoom room, because not only are we able to hear your questions and concerns and answer you in real time, but we're also able to help you strategize, because we're not just doing this as a hobby. Most of us are here because we want this to be, we want this to give us financial freedom. We want this to help give us our family freedom and our creative freedom. So for those things, like, freedom ain't free, y'all. It costs a little bit. But once you learn it and once you acquire the knowledge and you have somebody's help, like guiding you through to make sure you get it done, like, you're going to be able to get to the finish line so much faster, just
Right.
because you have the people to ask and help you be accountable in that moment. So that's the
Right.
reason why I love the live classes. We give all this information for free. Eve, every week you giving
Right.
away information for free, right?
Right.
Every
We
week
do.
I give away information on YouTube for free, but what I charge for is the implementation. Like, come into the class where we can get hands on, we can break it all the way down, we can curate the experience, we can take 3-4 hours with y'all, because that's what it takes up out of us.
Yeah.
Listen, don't it be taking some time now. And then that way we're able to kind of expand a little bit more and make sure that you're getting that value that, you know, that we can't necessarily do here in this setting without having you in the
Right.
Zoom room with us.
Right. Right. And then you'll also have all of the class materials, the links to the designs that you need. All of that'll
Hmm.
be available as one class kit together. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
all of that'll be there. And all of the information regarding the class, once we determine the interest in it and make sure that it's something that we can put together and folks will come to take the class
Right.
in mass, then we can make a value of it and go ahead and put it out to you guys. T Mont is asking, would it be one class or several classes?
So this is a single class where we do it all together. You get the Photoshop file. It comes with the Baby's Booty Bling kit. So all the tools and everything that you'll need, including the template material that you'll need to cut. But you're going to already have a stencil cut out for you, so we can move quickly through the application of the class. But then you have the materials for homework. You're going to change that design. It's not going to say in my NA era, when you all are done
Right.
with your homework, it'll say whatever you want it to say, because you'll be able to produce those results with what we do in class. So really, it's that one class, but the information, you're going to be able to take that and flip whatever templates, or even create your own templates. If you now you have the idea, you understand how you can pull any image in and bling out just a certain part of the image. Y'all just imagine, like, for school, you have a certain part of, let's say you have football design, and it's got the tiger and he's holding this football helmet, or he's wearing a certain garment, that you can just bling out those two pieces, the helmet and the jersey. And even if you change the jersey number, or you change the helmet to a different team, or change the whole design to a different color, you'll be able to part out those pieces and make that something that would continually sell for all the schools, locally and even online.
Right.
Just that information you'll be able to take on to do different things. Now, will it be offered more than once? I'm trying to talk even to coming back and doing this on a regular. So if you all show up and y'all show out, she might come back. And teach either another class, or maybe we have a different template and we do this more regularly.
Right.
It just depends on how you show up. If you show up, we're going to show up, because
Right.
that's how we perform. Like, we want to see your success. So if you're going to have success and we can be a part of that, we're absolutely going to show up and do more than one. But for right now, let's get this one rocking. See how you all become successful, and let's see how it helps your bottom line. I want to see y'all profiting off of this information.
Always. For those that want to profit, always. I just,
Mhm.
because to me, a lot of times one of the complaints with doing some of our crafts when we get crafty with stuff And they're like, I have all of this stuff and I've spent all of this money and it's just sitting there.
Mhm.
No, you actually can do something with it. And even if you, honestly, even if you didn't want to um make money off of it, then come and learn how you can make the gifts for the different people that you want to bestow on them or give them. You know,
Yeah.
you like, you can use this in so many different ways. As a matter of
ab-
fact, I was in there with Dr. Shannon. I think it was Friday. It was either Friday or Saturday. Friday. It was Friday. And she did a template with the baby shower. That's the one I was talking about, because it was like showing how just one simple
Oh,
little theme with the teddy bear and the different flowers and the balloons and the couple, and she was showing how to change just little pieces of the elements of this one template. Y'all, I just, my mind was blown, because it's like you can make a whole suite of either invitations, cake
mhm.
toppers,
Yep.
um t-shirts, banners, napkins, plates. You can take each one of them things, change it just a little bit or leave certain parts the same, and make all of this stuff off of
Right.
one template. Y'all, I how? And it's funny, because when you go on to, because when we did and I'm going off the rails a little bit, when we did the baby shower for my grandson, I went on, and she loves teddy bears and brown.
Mhm.
So when I go on Amazon and I type in, and they had a kit almost
Mhm.
just like what you were showing, but yours would have been custom with the
Right.
grandbaby's name on it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Whereas Amazon's was generic.
Yep.
And I'm like, this same thing is what she's showing, but you can take it and say, okay, well, how, you know, these folks will go crazy to have their baby shower customized.
Absolutely. And you don't have to worry about price matching with Amazon because Amazon
No,
is not going to customize it and personalize it. And that's the
no,
thing. Like a lot of us think that we have to beat somebody's price. Like the only way to beat a price is to go low. The lowest you can profit is $0. But if you
right,
get your skill set up, your skill set and the quality of what you do, just like the quality of your stones, you'll always be able to charge more. You'll always have more value and perceived value because you offer something that requires greater skill or requires a greater quality of product. And if you can produce results in a timely manner and have high quality, you never, ever, ever have to produce a cheap product. Like cheap is
right,
price. It's not, and you can make your product cheap just by pricing it at a certain price point. People are automatically going to perceive that your stuff is cheaper. So when we talk about pricing, we want people to know to price yourself a certain way so that you're perceived of having a valuable product. So people are like,
and it
oh,
is
no, they got
valuable.
Amazon prices. I don't know about them over there.
Yeah, it's valuable. And if they look at it and feel like going to Amazon is the better choice, then let them go to Amazon, because apparently that's the quality and the type of access that they want. And that's okay.
Right.
Everybody has a choice. But when a mother to be is looking to have the baby shower that she wants, and it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna gotta be on a certain level, and I want my baby's name on it, and these are the colors that I want, and Amazon doesn't offer it in that color, or whatever the case may be, they got teddy bears, but I also want the flowers, or whatever, you will be able
Yeah,
to offer that service to that mother to be, whereas Amazon won't do that. Okay. And so
absolutely.
you will be able to do it easily once you learn how to do that in the class. Now, we had someone asking, will you also be teaching beginner Photoshop in that
Yes.
particular class?
So we have a beginner Photoshop course that literally shows you everything from setting up your workspace, adding text, fading off an image, cutting the background out of an image. Now, for this particular class, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all that class for free just so that you have that background. But in the class, we're gonna get more of the implementation of this so that we don't spend because that class is about an hour and a half. It's a 90-minute class. So
Mm,
for those of you all who need that part, it's already recorded, but we have a live version of it that pops up once a month. So for those who do enroll in the class, I can Eve if they enroll in the class and they want that beginner class, I can put them in there for free just because I know that they're going to rock out in this class. So that class is a $97 class where we teach everything from the basics of Photoshop. You actually build a template yourself. So what you see on the screen right now, you'll have an image, you'll have your text, you have your text effects, all of that. I'll make sure that they get that class for free. And some of the folks here in the chat have done that course with Coach Ann, and she is amazing. She's super patient. And like I said, we do that once a month. As a matter of fact, that class is coming up, I believe, on the 20th of this month. So we would need to have everybody signed up. So we'll keep you posted on that on the wait list and let you know.
Okay. Now,
And Shaka says
again,
I highly recommend her one-on-one class. That's what it is, the Photoshop 101.
so again, just to reiterate what we're talking about, this is going to be a Photoshop sublimation with adding bling class, but right now there's a wait list. So we're trying to gauge the interest in this class, because if 3 people are asking for it, I'm not going to say I'm not going to teach 3 people, but I'm just saying we want to see what the interest is and go ahead and plan accordingly for the class. So Shay Shay is asking what will the class size be, because it will be a live Zoom class. So is there a limit with your live Zoom classes for the Innate Academy?
There is a limit live of 100 people on the Zoom. However, it just depends on how many people sign up, because I want to make sure that even if we have a full room, that you have the access to us that you need. So this is why we're going to make certain that we don't have too full of a class, because I want to make sure that you all have time to ask questions, that you have time to implement the session. And so there are going to be limited seats. So I don't want you thinking like that you got to the last minute, because once the class is full, I don't believe we've done a class like anything like this, especially with the clear stones. I don't know if anyone else is offering this kind of class. So while you have the opportunity to have a Photoshop expert and a bling expert in the same Zoom room, helping you get a result that probably you haven't even seen anybody else even selling anything like this yet. Or if you have seen it, I guarantee you, if you ask them how they did it, they will not tell you. They will not teach you. They will not. I think I've actually reached out to somebody before, and I was just like, wow, like, is this something that you did in Photoshop? It was like crickets. So just, just for the opportunity for us to make sure that we're advancing the creative community, because that's what we do. Is we learn something. Like, I'm talking about, I paid $5,000 to learn something. I'm bringing it to the tribe, right? Because it doesn't matter how much I paid for it. If I have the opportunity to uplift the community, then I'm going to do that. So we have those opportunities for you as well, because we're constantly learning and growing so that we can bring it right back to the tribe.
Right. So Crystal, for that, will the class be on a weekday or a weekend? We will let you guys know when that class is going to be once we get everything scheduled after getting the participants for the class together. Can you take the class if you don't do sublimation and only do rhinestones? Sorry, I might have missed the answer to this question already.
So if you don't do sublimation, Eve has another class that's like a beginner rhinestone course, and I think that would be much more valuable for you, because you're sticking to the stone side of things. Now, if you want to do Photoshop the same way that I created this design here, you can take all of these effects off, and you could bling this design without any of the other effects here. It could just be all pure black and white. So you can learn how to design in Photoshop, export that, and then bling as well. But I think also, Eve, you teach them how to design in Silhouette, right? So you don't have to use an outside program if you're doing vector, like, because vector, you're bringing in like a logo or something, or you're bringing in like a flower, and you're taking the outline of that and then taking and making those bling. So really, if you're just doing the stones, it's probably going to benefit you more to stay inside of Silhouette. But if you're looking to add that extra, then you could. And also, people sell sublimation prints. So if you're interested in doing this, you could purchase your prints. Especially if you're not sure if this is something that you're going to want to invest in the equipment yet. You could purchase the prints and then apply the stones to them and see how that does in your market.
Right. So what do you need to know to take the class? So as she pointed out earlier, it'll be
Mhm.
helpful to know Photoshop. And if you don't know Photoshop, she's offering a
And I
free
promise you,
class.
as long as, and here's the thing, even with this class, as long as you have Photoshop downloaded, you will get through. And I tell people that they're like, nah, Shannon, you can't. As long as you have Photoshop downloaded, when we come into the class, we'll go ahead and get you acclimated to the fact that you can change out the image, you can change out the text and all of that stuff. We won't even necessarily be doing that right away. The first thing we're going to be doing is showing you how you can take the pieces and just make them into the images that you can bring into the Silhouette Studio. But I promise you, as long as you have Photoshop downloaded, we can help you turn any of these designs out in 5 minutes. So I say once you flip 4 times, you're in your 5 minute flip mode.
Okay. Will there be a replay if I am unable for the time of the class?
Yes, absolutely. Some people will purchase knowing that they can't come to the class, but they just want to secure their spot in case they can come live, and then also absolutely have access to the replay.
Diane asked, do you sign up now for the class? So now it's just a wait list.
Hmm.
It doesn't guarantee a spot. It doesn't, and you're not guaranteeing that you will be there. The guarantee, of course, is once the class is purchased. But the wait list is just, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about this class. Let me know if you when you get more information, and then we'll send it out at that time, and then you can actually sign up for the class.
Right.
Faith Smiley asked, where can you order sublimation prints?
That's a amazing question. You can order sublimation prints off of Etsy. There are some openings. We're going to have a marketplace where some of the Academy members, our Craft Equip members, will be able to sell as well. But here's the thing: you want to make sure that somebody can print it the exact size that you submitted, because when you're creating this kind of this like brother and sister file, it needs to work together. So if they make your image just a little bit bigger, than the stones that you cut won't fit. And this is precisely why the method that we've designed for you, it's going to fit every single time, as long as you follow those steps. And when you print it, you print exactly the size of the PDF. So most people that print do that. They're not going to resize your stuff because they don't know what you're using it for and they don't want to get in trouble. But as long as any sublimation printer will print to the specifications of the file that you gave them, then it's going to work out. And I've seen people doing like prints for like $3, or it may even be cheaper now. I don't know, because the Etsy market tends to go down and down and down. That's why I say you got to make sure
Mhm.
that you have something that not everybody else is offering, because when everybody's doing the same thing on Etsy, it gets to be such a, and I won't even say competitive market. I'll say a cheapened down to the bottom market, unless you're innovative, unless you do things that stand out, and unless your quality is so high that you always get your 5-star reviews. Those are the things that help you, sell better and sell more.
And we like, if you ever need a recommendation, there's a local one not far from me, Primal Graphics. I've shown you guys her UV prints. I know she prints sublimation prints, because when we were discussing this design and she was mentioning the 13 by 19, and I was like, I don't have a 13 by 19 printer. And I was like, well, I guess I can call her and have it printed. And Shannon was like, no, just we'll change it to 8.5 by 11, because I didn't think of that. I'm like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
my little, that's the size that I have. So yes, there is a way to get prints printed for you. Primal Graphics locally here is definitely one of the ones that can do it. Miss Naomi Dickerson, the link is in the description, and I think I still have it to paste right here. Okay, yeah, here's the wait list. Um,
And so far
if
we
you're
have
interested.
88 on the wait list. So I'm sure this is something y'all are interested in. So when we open up the class, the other reason that you are on the wait list is because you will be the first to know when the class opens up. Now,
Yeah.
we are going to give y'all a full 24-hour notice to have your early bird special, and we only have 10 slots at the early bird price. So as soon as you see the thing come to your email, if you want the early bird price, it's only going to be 10 slots out of those 100. Then after that, once those 100 seats fill up, that's going to be it. So you all have an advantage. If you're on the wait list, you're going to get 24-hour notice before anybody else that this class is live and it's on and popping. Okay, so that would be one of the benefits of doing the wait list. And our goal is to do this within the next few weeks so that you
Mhm.
all are ready for back to school. And we have a special design that we're doing for that I think you all will love without giving it a spoiler there. But it's a little rock and roll theme that's popular right now. So you'll be able to use it for everything from teachers to nurses to these whole bootleg concert shirts that are really hot right now. I think you are really going to appreciate that type of design and having that in your arsenal.
And when the class comes, you will have enough time to receive your kit. So there's a kit that comes with the class. There are files that come with the class. It
Hmm.
is a Zoom, so you will need to know how to get in on the Zoom class. Most folks do by now, though. Come in on the Zoom and have Photoshop and have Silhouette Business Edition. Both of those we will be using in the class to get you ready to be able to do the sublimation with adding the bling over the top.
And
So
Eve, I'm glad you mentioned the Silhouette Business Edition because that's the one that's going to give you the opportunity to do the stones. And here's the other thing, y'all. These are investments. So when you invest in this software, when you invest in these classes to learn this stuff, you invest in the materials and the inventory. Make sure that you are checking that off on the prices that you're charging and making sure that your customer understands that this isn't you just trying something out on their design. Like you are invested
right.
in your business, and that should reflect in the value that you're offering.
I think
Nancy,
I think the
I'm sorry.
links that I'm posting, I'm not sure that the links are being sent
Oh,
over.
okay. I can.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna put it over there on the other side too. Same. I think the same thing was happening with the Photoshop link. I don't know if it was posted on
Okay.
this.
Okay.
But
Yes,
Nancy's
it can be
asking.
used with Cricut.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
can be used
So,
with Cricut.
yep. And even though I think neither one of us do we do you don't use Cricut, do you?
I
But we have.
can and I have.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, in my beginners class, the recorded one, I'm teaching with Cricut.
Oh,
But
got you.
my preference now, I've switched to the Caesar brand, and I absolutely love the Caesar software and stuff. And the cutter is so much faster. But yes, I can and have taught with Cricut.
Now, what is the
Um,
Caesar cutter? What is that one called?
The Caesar is the 24-inch cutter is the Romeo, and the 12,
Oh,
well, technically 13-inch cutter is the Juliet. So the Romeo and the Juliet is
mhm,
the Caesar brand software cutters. I mean, the Caesar brand cutters. And
yeah.
they're just so much faster.
So
Just
did they
a lot
cut
faster.
the rhinestone templates faster?
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Mhm.
Okay. So not
Mhm.
only could you use the silhouette, because we show you have to have Silhouette Studio just to create the
Mhm.
rhinestone files. That's the main
Right.
premise. And then
Right.
from there, you can use that file that you create in pretty much any cutter that will cut a decent circle. Okay, so
Yes.
we can't vouch for all cutters out there, but we just said Silhouette. I have the Cameo. I cut mine today. It worked just perfect. You have the Caesar brand, and then even if
Mhm.
you're using a Cricut, all of those are phenomenal products that will do this work.
Yeah, I have the Cricut Maker as well, and the Cricut Joy. A lot of templates you can cut with Cricut Joy as well. So yes, the most important thing is to have your cutter, and know the software that drives your cutter. So no matter
Mhm.
like Crystal was asking, what if I have the rhinestone kit for the brother scan and cut? You should be able to use the flock. I think it should come with flock. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, you can use that stuff. So if you're not interested in receiving the kit, you can put that in the link for the class, but it comes with the class. So I mean,
Right.
it's entirely up to you how you want to do that.
Yeah.
But if you have your cutter, like I have Graph Tech as well. Naomi Dickerson mentioned the Graph Tech. I have that as well. I can cut with that too.
Yeah,
So
and
the
I have
most
a Roland also. So even if you have the professional cutters,
right.
the Roland or the Graph Tech, those are considered professional cutters. It's the same thing. The and this is what a vector does.
Hmm.
These are vector-based programs that will mathematically cut those holes because you've
Right.
specified that. So you just want to
Right.
make sure you have a good blade. Like you said, you have your settings set up to where it's going to cut the material properly. And
Right.
those might be some questions that you end up having. And that's the reason why
Right.
we like to do the in-person classes too, because you may have those kind of questions and we can address them in the moment.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. Um, the link to Photoshop, I'll have to go back in the chat and get the link to
Yeah,
the Photoshop. Do
I
you
can
have it?
post it again.
And
Yep, I'll post it
I'll
again.
redrop it.
Okay.
Silhouette Business Edition. If you go on to the Silhouette website, it's $99. But if you go to um, let me see if I can grab that. I'm gonna try and grab that. If you go to, I think it's called Swing Design is the website. A lot of times they'll have it on sale for like $69 or something like that. It's
Mhm.
cheaper
Yeah,
on Swing.
Sheila posted a link for the
Oh, she did.
swing
Okay,
design, and it's 40, she says it's 49.99.
49.99.
Oh,
See,
that's a deal.
y'all. I mean, we out here trying to. It's
Listen, this
in
is what the network is about.
right, right, and I know there are folks who, and I don't mind addressing certain things. I know there are situations where folks is like, okay, well, um, let me this is the Photoshop, just in case. Okay. Where they're like, okay, well, every time I'm spending money for the classes and I'm spending money here and spending money there, but I mean, why can't you my grandson sends his love.
Aw.
Um why can't you just teach us for free? And we do teach. If you this is recorded, you can always go
Yep.
back and watch the steps that she just did to do the Photoshop part and implement that into your own Photoshop designing. And we didn't completely show you step by very every step, but she broke down the steps in Silhouette Business Edition to show you how to do it there. So the steps are there, but in the
Mhm.
class setting, it's more structured. You have voice opportunity to say, can you please do that again? Or I don't understand how you got there. Or can you cover this a little bit better?
Mhm.
Or bring in other questions that would fit in that narrative so that you can get a clearer understanding of how to take this process and turn it into income. If that's what you're after, then this is an investment in your business. If
That's
that's
it.
not what you're after, you don't have to sign up for anything, y'all. We're just out here trying to help the people who have struggled with Photoshop and are looking for something new and different to do with the rhinestones or with sublimation, or you never thought about it, or both. So
Right.
that's the whole point in this particular show, because when we contacted and connected and she told me what she was looking at doing and doing a class, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I do rhinestones and show people how to do the rhinestones, but I didn't think on the level of taking a static template and being able to change certain elements to customize it for your customer. That's on a level that I've never shown that here. I've never shown it, and that's her element in showing how to do that. So this class will be over on Innate and a part of Innate Academy. It's not going to be on the baby's booty. We do have classes. You guys know Patrice and I have shown designing classes, but this is over on Innate Academy. So if you're not familiar with Innate Academy, Photoshop and sublimation reigns supreme over on Innate Academy. So we're just adding some rhinestone, a little bit of blingity bling over there. Not a whole lot, just a little bit to add to what she already has over there. And the list of classes over there is very long. And they're all Photoshop, and all of them are ways that you can make money with sublimation and using Photoshop techniques that I have no clue how to do. So that's what this is for. That's what this is all about. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch and ask your questions and sign up for the wait list. I definitely appreciate that, because this is a new opportunity for me over there at the Innate Academy. Shay Shay said her only concern is class size. I have trouble with learning new techniques, and I just don't think it's possible in a large Zoom class, but I am interested. And who knows, we might could do a smaller class for those who would prefer a smaller class, but that's something that I'm going to have to talk with Dr. Shannon about, because like I said, that's over on her platform, Innate Academy classes. So we'll let you guys know, and we'll have be able to talk about what's going on. But if you're on the wait list, you can get that information. If you're not on the wait list, then How else are you gonna know?
How will
That's
they
how we're gonna let you know.
know?
That's how we're gonna let you know if you're on the wait list.
That's
What
it.
is the link to purchase Photoshop? Where is the link to sign? Okay, Vanessa, that is in the Photoshop we just posted in the chat. You must have just come in. Is there a version you can't use? Are you talking about Photoshop, Miss Carol Coleman? Is there a version? So if, like, for instance, Dennis had the older version, can he
Mhm.
still take the class
So,
even with the
so
older
yes,
version?
Dennis could still take the class. However, what I would suggest is that at least for the class, go ahead and sign up. You get there's a 7-day free trial if you go to Photoshop. So you can at least try that 7-day free trial just for
Mm,
the sake of the class so that you understand, hey, I didn't know we had this new function. So even if you've done the older version of Photoshop, just try the trial so that you can understand the full capacity of what we're doing and you have absolutely no limitations during the class. Now, I will say this to the larger class size. It's the quality of the teacher and the quality of the methods. So the way that I teach and the way that Eve teaches as well, we are extremely thorough in how we go and we stop. Every time we do a major change, I'll ask, and this is my technique, I'll ask, hey, did you all get that? Anybody needs help? Throw me a 2 in the chat. If you got it and you rocked out, give me a 1. So when I see that they're all ones and 1 or 2 twos, then I'll say, okay, so and so, share your screen with me. So this is how interactive our classes are. You share your screen, then I can see your screen. I could literally on Zoom, I can circle what you need to be clicking on, or I could even take over your computer on Zoom and use the mouse myself and say, hey, this is where you should have been clicking. I do that as last resort. I call it driving the boat. And I'll say, hey, do you mind if I drive the boat for a moment? But other than that, this is not a common way that people teach classes. We
right.
teach with the mindset that you're going to achieve a win with us every time you do a class. So we're not just up there teaching on a chalkboard and then you got to take notes and apply this stuff later. We're literally giving you things to do step by step that you can get a win by the end of that class with us. You're going to have something that you can print, something that you can bling, okay? And you will be able to have that done by the end of our class. Now, I don't know if other people's classes are like that, but that's how we operate.
That was another thing that got to me, y'all, when she was like, yeah, no, I can take over the screen. And I'm like, what? In Zoom? And she took my screen over. It was like, yeah, I can draw on your screen. And I'm like, bruh, where was this when I was trying to figure out Zoom? So it's like this is a Zoom on another level. And even then, if you're still hesitant, that's okay. We can talk about a different, who knows, we'll figure it out. But she has her viewers in here, and I need to look and see if their comments are showing up in the chat with you guys, where they're telling you they've taken her classes and matter of fact, let's do it this way because I know I can do it this way.
Yeah, I think some of them they are showing up. So this is like new to me doing the StreamYard combined. So the comments on my channel are showing up in this chat with us right now. Now I don't know if the community can see it, but I see them.
Yeah, so I'm putting them. Then Miss Joyce, that's fine. If you ask questions, we're here to give the answers. So the wait list is not for the Photoshop. The wait list is for this combined class with the sublimation with
Mhm.
rhinestones. That's what the wait list is for. The Photoshop class, she already has it. It's already
Yeah.
there. She has a pre-recorded one, and she also has one that's going to be coming up live. I think. What did you say? The third? The What did you 20th?
On the 20th, we have a
That's in
Photoshop
six
101
days.
class. So
That's in
anybody
six
that,
days.
because at this point in time, we'll have released the class date to you all. So anybody that purchases by that Friday, because that class is on a Saturday, you all will get free access to that live design class. And that class is very much structured how I teach any Photoshop class, how Coach Chrissy teaches any Photoshop class. I'll put it to you like this. I think I do so well with teaching, and I'm not humble about my gifts. I'll be humble about the things that I receive because of my gifts, like money and stuff. But I'm not humble about the gifts because that's what God gave us to share. So that's me showing off God when I show off my gifts, right? So I'm so great with teaching Photoshop that I've even created number one my own competition because then they go out there and create files and that sort of thing, and I'm not mad at it. And then I also create some phenomenal coaches who can teach the stuff too, and who never touched Photoshop before they came into the academy. So if I'm able to take somebody that within a year that never touched Photoshop and they can teach it, I promise you that Photoshop is not going to be scary at all. You're going to feel so empowered when you learn how to use this tool, and you're going to be able to create a phenomenal project with us in a real-time setting. And that's, I don't care if you're we've thought of everything. If your cutter breaks down in the middle of it, guess what? We're gonna give you the cut file ready to go. If your Photoshop ain't working right, listen, we're gonna make sure that you have the PDF that's ready to print of the sample file, so that you can print the sample file and make sure that you get the work done in class. We've already thought of all of this ahead of time. And then you'll have some homework to do the modifications, and basically to make your own version of it. So you get that free time is what you're going to spend on, say, okay, now I'm going to take what I learned in this class and I'm going to apply it, and I'm going to do my own version of it.
Yeah.
So the price of the 101 Live is $97. However, if y'all sign up for this class, then I'll make sure that you all get it for free. But yes, the Photoshop class is $97. I wouldn't buy it. If you plan on buying this class, we're going to release the date for it from the wait list. So I would not buy the 101 class just yet until you figure out if you're going to be one of the few entered into this Sub and Bling class.
So right now, Miss Joyce, the live class for the Photoshop is going to be free, is what she's offering if you're on the wait list for the Rhinestone and Photoshop
Not on the wait list,
Sublimation
if
class.
they purchase the course.
If they purchase the course, then
yes,
that's free. Okay. All right.
exactly,
I stand
exactly.
correctly. Thank you.
Yeah, because then we have
All of
everybody on
this
the wait
is over on
list.
N8 Academy, right? This is over on N8 Academy. So thank you for explaining, because she's asking. She said we pay for the live class and we get the Photoshop recorded class free to understand how to work the 101
Now, I'm
class.
going to put
The
you in the
101
Photoshop.
class is Photoshop,
Yeah,
right?
the 101 class, I will put them in that class live as long as they
Oh,
purchase before, because basically they would have to have purchased the class by the 19th. So we're going to open it up in a couple days, let you all know the date. So the early bird is truly going to get the worm. The early bird is going to get the sunshine. The early bird is going to get the best branch on the tree. Listen, the early bird is about to be in there like swimwear.
so we have several asking how much the course is going to be. We haven't even said it yet. Can we sign up now? 101 is live and hands-on, but 101 is for the Photoshop. That's not for the Bling. And I was scared to, okay, that's different. Uh-oh, that one was taken down. Felicia's. I was scared to touch Photoshop, but the way Dr. Shanon teaches is more than words can express. And now I'm plus years in.
Yeah, and Felicia, she'll be quiet, but Felicia gets it in. She can flip the templates like none other. She can build from scratch designs now. Like, that's the thing. Once
Okay.
you have a tool and you really practice that tool, that skill set, y'all, the skills is what pays the bills. And if you have bigger bills, meaning that you want a bigger house, you want a different car, you want to take a vacation, those are big bills. You got to have big skills to pay big bills. So
Yeah.
what we aim to do is to help you grow your skill set so that you have something to offer in the market that not everybody is willing to invest in, especially their time. And let's talk about it. The Bible says the heart follows the pocketbook. So whatever you're spending your money on, whatever you're investing in, is where your heart is going, and that's where you're going to spend more time and develop your skill set. So hopefully, we're helping to bring you skills that that you won't be able to acquire much anywhere else.
Right. And you mentioned the Photoshop link that makes it $9, because mine is not $9. I'm paying, I think mine is 50 something, but that's because I have a bundle with Photoshop
Mhm.
and Adobe and
And I'm gonna tell you
Premiere and
a hack for that one too. Since we on here just
uh-oh,
giving out all this value,
uh-oh,
if
uh-oh.
you have a
I need
student,
it.
if you have a student in your household, listen to me now. You can get a student subscription. And if you wait until Black Friday, listen to what I do. For Black Friday, I don't need cutesy bags and clothes and all this stuff. For Black Friday, I put things that I pay a lot of money for. because I know for Black Friday, all those subscriptions, they're gonna have deals. So what I did, if
Mm,
those in the academy, y'all know Emma Levi, that's my niece and nephew. They do the Photoshop class with us every Wednesday. They do AI class with us every Tuesday. They're in there at 11 and 13. They were in there since what 9 and 11. So they do these classes. I have them signed up for Photoshop. It's
mm.
$15.99 a month for Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, Acrobat. They're learning how to do video editing, like on Premiere and then
Wow.
After Effects. So I'm
Wow.
just saying, and that's because I got the Black Friday deal on Photoshop.
Wow.
So that was but that whole package is supposed to be at least it's more than the 59. I think it's supposed to be $99 a month.
Yeah, I talked them down to 56 because I reached out. I'm like, bruh, I can't do this. And they
Right,
was
like
like,
really,
no,
all I
no, no,
really need
hold
is
on. We'll give
Illustrator and
you a
Photoshop.
deal. And I'm finding out now it ain't even a deal. 19.99. I will be checking on Black Friday.
Listen, just and it doesn't. I thought it had to be
Yikes.
a .edu email address, but because they're kids, and
Mm-hmm.
then that's the thing, you get two licenses, so that means that it
Mm.
can be on two different computers at any given time. Now they
Wow.
have their licensing, but I'm just letting you know because nobody talks about this kind of stuff and lets everyone know that there are these resources there. Then your kids have a reason to learn Photoshop. They'll learn it
Yeah.
faster than you, I guarantee. Their minds are more
Yeah.
agile. Their minds are more on these apps and visuals and knowing the trends and those kind of things. So yeah, just I mean, if it helps you sleep at night, make sure that they take, open that Photoshop program maybe once a month so you won't feel bad, downloading it
Right.
on behalf of the kids. Because
Right.
as long as they're a student, even in college, you will be able to get it for the student rate.
Okay. And someone asked, yes, it applies to college
Yep.
students as well.
And
So
if
if
you
you
if you're 85 in college, it applies to you. You don't have to be young in college.
okay,
If
okay,
you take an A college class and you have a .edu email address, that works best. When you're an adult, they kind of assume that you're going to have to prove. When you're a child, you can't prove that a child like that's them getting into too much of your business. But when you're an adult, they do ask that you sometimes that you show that you have college enrollment. Most that they've ever done
okay,
is just see that you have a .edu student address.
okay. And Gigi's Boutique asked, she has a Mac. So would it be a difference if you're teaching using something else? MacBook shouldn't have an
Absolutely not.
issue,
We
right?
have a mix of Mac and PCs, and quite frequently we have a little like battle inside of the chat sometimes with
Which is better?
when the
Oh
PC
my
doesn't do
God.
something the Mac does or whatever. Yeah, Felicia has a Mac, and Felicia and Nancy are our Mac experts.
So for those wanting Photoshop for the class to try it out, wait until the class date is announced and sign up for the free 7-day just before the class. Unless you have a student and you can get it cheaper than what I'm paying.
Mhm. And
Oh
there's
my God.
also an
Cannot believe that.
option if you don't, because 9.99 is the cheapest you're going to get it anyway, just Photoshop itself. What I'm talking about is if you want the whole Adobe suite, then you want to pay more. You're going to have to pay more for
Yeah, for
Illustrator
the
because we're
whole
talking about
suite.
what's Illustrator, Photoshop. Most of us only need, if we do need more than Photoshop, only need Illustrator and Photoshop. But
Right.
there are so many other programs in the in the Adobe suite.
Yeah.
You have a program that is called InDesign that designs programs and brochures and that sort of thing. It's called a
Oh, that's
desktop
cool.
publishing application. I had to use that in high school when I did journalism.
Okay.
You have After Effects, which creates motion graphics. You
Yeah.
have Premiere, which
Premiere.
literally people make movies on Adobe Premiere.
Yeah.
Like,
That's how I edit my videos is Premiere.
oh, oh, okay. Look
Hmm.
at you. And E Premiere is no joke. That's that serious
It
one.
is no joke.
Yeah.
Yes. It'll have it. Yeah. It's not easy. I know the bare minimum to get my videos rendered. That's it.
Hmm.
And
And
editing.
yeah. And then even if you're sharing that account with your student, you have two. You could be logged into two computers at any given time for your Adobe login. So one could be logged onto student's computer, one could be logged into your personal computer, and either way, you're just sharing the same license, which is allowable. It'll even tell you if you're signing on to a third computer, hey, which computer do you want to kick off to be the second spot?
Right.
So
Right.
I have it actually on 6 different computers because we only use 2 computers at a time for that license, and I just turn the ones off of the computers when we're not using them.
Mhm.
So Yeah, we're going to get into this thing. This is going to be something that changes your life when you know that you can create anything that's on your brain, you can create. That's the power of Photoshop. And then just to let y'all know too, like this is AI. I don't know if y'all know this, but all those patterns that you saw, those were AI artwork patterns. The lips themselves is AI artwork. So I
Okay.
literally bring AI artwork into every template so that you can see how you can utilize the AI art that you create.
Okay. Yeah,
So
AI
yeah.
is the new hot thing, it seems, in a lot of the designs and stuff
Oh yeah.
that I've seen in, like for instance, on Creative Fabrica, they are inundated with AI designs now. And if it's done correctly, it can be very nice,
Exactly.
so it would be nice to learn the proper way to use AI, so to
Yeah.
speak.
So
Um,
we do AI every week. We have a class in AI that teaches you how to make the elements that we did in the Photoshop class that we did that week. So,
mm,
and the reason why I did that is because like you, Eve, I was noticing that people were making AI art, but it wasn't marketable. Like it's pretty
right,
stuff, but what can you sell that on or what can you use that
right,
for? Like why would somebody want you to just make a picture of, Mickey Mouse with a Louis Vuitton outfit on? Because you can't
right.
really sell that on Etsy. You're not supposed to,
No,
and it will get you the
Dale, that's
contract, you know.
two different flags right there.
And that, but so what I'm saying is that instead of me, like, because I know what people love to see, my goal is
Hmm.
to help you do it in a way that's actually going to be profitable and not have you lose your business on Etsy. Because,
Right.
or, your whole shop could get, your Shopify store can get shut down just because you have certain
Yeah.
things on there. So I don't like to take the shortcuts. I like to show people the real skills that pay the bills that will keep paying your bills. Because one thing you don't want is a bill from an attorney after you'd have made all this money off of somebody else's licensing that you didn't have the proper credentials to do, and then it shuts things down. You got to start from scratch. It's just not worth it. And can I say that, like, at some point in time in my life, like, did I have a character on something and sold it? Yes. But then when I realized I had something to risk, which is real business, I'm like, this ain't worth it. What I had to do is I had to get my skill sets up so that somebody's not asking me for that graphic. They're asking me, "Ooh, you did this over here, that family cruise thing." Yeah, I did a family cruise or a team, and I didn't have to use anybody's licensed images to sell my graphic. So that's what I like
I
to teach with
have
AI.
real quick, I'm sorry, I lost sound. So I'm gonna fix my sound, but I'm still here.
We can hear
And
you.
there's a couple of questions that one, she asked about showing what was shown at the beginning of the live, but it's going on 10 minutes till we end the show, so I'm gonna wait on that. Unless you wanted to see her shirt, and I can change. Can you show the shirt again? I think that's
Yeah,
what she
sure.
was asking about
On the Photoshop screen,
while I fix my
or just
sound.
pull it up. So this is Sublimation with these beautiful babies booty
And that's the crystal
rhinestones.
ABs, right?
Yeah, the crystal ABs. Listen. I was my nephew was embarrassed for me because when I was recording the video, I was like, every time they come in my red city, bling bling, and he was like, "What song is that? Why are you?" I was bling bling. It was just making me sing bling blings. This product is amazing, y'all. And like I said, I did like Eve. I saved this just to show you. I'm not used to when I cut out my stencils, right? And I do like you did. I put it on my sticky mat, right? I am not used to my stencils coming this clean off the backing paper. You see, I had like 3 of these little leftovers that I just had to stick to the table and pull off. That thing came out. Your products are amazing.
Okay, he too young for that song.
Or maybe it's just the way that I was. But actually, he was kind of rocking with me a little bit. It was my brother that was picking at me.
All right, so let's see.
Any other questions? So we got a little checklist, and we'll provide all of this once the wait list is closed and we actually release the class. We'll provide what's required so that you'll know before you purchase the class what's required. Yes, Silhouette Business Edition. You will have to have Photoshop. Everything else will be provided for you, including a rhinestone kit from the baby's booty. We'll have the Photoshop file that will have all of the elements already done for you, and it will also give you the editable file. So even if you get caught up and you're like, look, I just want to print and make this stuff just to see if I'm going to like it, we'll have that ready for you as well. You will not miss a win with us. We make sure that no creatives left behind. So Silhouette Business Edition, great question. Silhouette Business Edition is a one-time purchase, and Photoshop is a monthly purchase. Oh, Nat, we love you too, love. Yes, and if you missed the live, you will have the replay. All righty, and Eve is said that the sound is not coming through anymore, but it shows that your mic is muted, so it might just be a muted thing. It still says you're on mute. Look at the bottom of your StreamYard and see if you have tapped on your mute. Yes, Sheila, the class will be recorded to watch at a later time. Absolutely. You'll have the replay of the Zoom and you'll have all the files and everything. And let me check to see if Eve is messaging me just in case.
Okay.
There
Can
we
you
go.
hear me
Now.
I'm having to come in with my phone because for whatever reason, my computer is just like, okay, you doing team too much.
I know,
You
right?
got
Right down to the last 7 minutes.
it as if you ain't had nothing else better to do with yourself. So I'm gonna have to reboot my computer or whatever. But saying all of this to say, you guys, I appreciate y'all coming on with us tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for um taking the time to learn a new technique with a new software program that we do not talk about at all here on this channel. We don't fool with Photoshop. So it'll be cool to open up Photoshop and be able to use it and get some things done. I know like Patrice will show Illustrator a little bit. We've been trying to get some Illustrator in here too. But the Photoshop part is going to be fun. And like I said, over at Innate Academy, she has a whole suite of classes in her academy to get you proficient at Photoshop. If you ever wanted to learn, go on over there, check her out. The link is in the description below. Also for the rhinestone, adding the rhinestones with the sublimation, there is the wait list. If you click the wait list, we'll get that class set up ASAP so that we can get that information out to you guys. And for those that will be taking the class, we'll send out the kit for the class so that you'll have that when it is time for class to start. So that's pretty much where we are. I'm going to try and connect again. I don't know that I can. So I'm just going to leave well enough alone to keep me from throwing this computer out the But thank you for taking the time to come and hang with us tonight. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely, anytime. And I look forward to having you on the Innate Academy channel as well. I can't wait to watch this magic of collaboration happen. And this is fun. I think we've got to do this more often. I know we have some talents individually, but this is what I say about teamwork. Teamwork is not additive. Teamwork is multiplicative. Like when you have one and one with oh, are we still on Eve? Oh, I don't know. She's on the back. But I'm gonna give y'all an understanding that I feel about collaboration. So one and one does not necessarily equal two when you have great people in the room because it's multiplying that effect. So one and one could be 1,000. It could be exponential just because you have the right energy, the right people who want to see people win. And we're in this to grow ourselves as well as our communities. So
Yes,
this isn't just going to be a 1+1 = 2. We're going to show y'all some things that we haven't even seen yet and we didn't know existed until we collaborated. And they were like, oh, yeah, we can do that. Yes. So I'm
that is
ready to
going to be fun.
multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. That's what we're here for. And thank you so much, Eve. I appreciate you once more for uh, letting me come into your beautiful community. Thank you all
Thank
for
you.
being so interactive. You all are amazing. You make me feel good in at home, and I can't be nervous because y'all are family now. So I will definitely
Yeah.
welcome you to the academy, as well as I will make sure that all those in the academy know to also check you out as well. And you do some amazing work, and you're always
Thank
pouring
you.
into the community as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. To you guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and a like on the video. If you haven't subscribed to Innate Academy, go over there and subscribe because she drops gems all of the time. When I tell y'all Friday, I was mind blown. And matter of fact, go subscribe and go watch that video Friday. Because if you didn't know you could take one template and change colors and customize it for your customer right there on the fly, it just doesn't. Yeah, I was speechless. I really was. I was sitting in the bushes just watching the magic unfold, all these colors going all over the place. So definitely go check her out over there. And meanwhile, keep in mind the buy-in just closed, but the hotfixfix.store is still open. And we got something coming out the woodworks for you guys. So keep your eye open for the newsletter or for the update on Facebook or next week's Sunday live. Hmm. What do we
Mhm.
have up our sleeve over here on this channel? So thank you all. I enjoyed hanging out. We're gonna duck out a little bit early because all of this mess with the camera and the sound and stuff just done got me flabbergasted. I'm ready. I'm over it. So I hate to do Dr. Shannon like that, but I don't like to be
No,
aggravated with
you're
my
fine.
with
We only
technical
have
difficulties.
what 2 more minutes. You have did your time, as they say. But I do want to also tell my community that if you all are not tapped into these rhinestone buy-ins that Eve does, this is an opportunity. If y'all don't understand what a buy-in is, to get the stones. Is it about half of the price of the retail rate? Is something around there? Like
Some
it's
close to it. It's
it's
pretty
it's
decent. It's a big
it's
difference. It's
it's a
wholesale versus
huge
retail.
difference. It's a wholesale price that you can get if you go into these monthly buy-ins and say, okay, well, I can wait. I don't like this is what I did. So I ordered
Yes,
these
it is.
as a buy-in, and then I had ordered these. It's like, okay, I need some stones right now. So I ordered these from the regular hot fix site, and I ordered these from the buy-in. So the
Yeah,
buy-in ones take
it
longer
is.
to come in, but you see, I'm gonna get some more. So what I initially need, I'm gonna go with the hot fix because she and her customer service, y'all, she got that thing out with the quickness. So if you need your supplies and they're quality supplies, like I said, I don't usually promote other people's products because I can't speak for people's customer service. Sometimes it's not just the product, it's also their customer service. Her product is
Right.
amazing, her customer service is amazing. So please
Thank
check
you.
out and if you would, even for my community, drop those links and I'll drop them. So the Hot Fix website is where you can get immediate stones, and then the
Right.
buy-in website is where if you're willing to wait, like it's like 30 to 60 days, depending on how long it takes those things to come in. Is that about what it is, Eve?
So it takes 21 to 30 days for the stones to get shipped out, and they receive them in about 21 to 30 days.
Wow. So that's
Yeah.
not even that much patience because in my head I'm thinking, oh, they might have to wait about 60. So really
Hmm.
30 days or less is about the time
Hmm.
you can just
Yes.
wait and build your
Yeah.
inventory up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Been.
you just told me again. So don't be surprised when you see my name coming across your orders again because she was like, yeah, send me
Yeah,
orders.
we've been doing the buy-in for 2 years now, and it's been two. Well, actually, two and a half, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes,
We will drop the link again. Do you mind showing your shirt again, and then I'll show my shirt, and it's 11 o'clock,
absolutely.
and we'll close it out. Yeah, that was hers. Was with the crushed ice AB. So if you're wanting clear stones, it's the crushed ice stones or it's the frost stone. So we have frost fire, frost ice, crushed ice, and crushed ice AB. So hers is crushed ice AB, and mine was just the clear crushed ice stones. So super pretty stones, absolutely gorgeous. I'm excited for you guys to learn how to use the stones with the sublimation. And thank you so very much for coming to hang out with us. And thank you again, Dr. Shannon. We appreciated you coming up. And hopefully we'll have you on here again with the next different class. We might, you never know.
You never know. Y'all just stay tuned. Thank you, Eva. I appreciate you again. And you have a beautiful night, everyone here. Thank you so much for having us. And I appreciate you dearly.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night. And we'll see if Mr. McQuackins can get us out with some sensualization. Y'all have a good night. Hopefully he can back there. Pull it up and cue it. I'm putting him on the spot. Y'all have to forgive me. How would you define luxury? Your purchase of our rhinestones has put extravagance right at your fingertips. Here at the Baby's Booty, we are taking the standard of luxury and bringing it directly to you. Introducing the perfect companion to your luxe rhinestones, the Baby's Booty Ice Boxes. Our ice boxes are in the perfect sizes to complement your order. Each color in your purchase will be labeled and packaged in these elegant acrylic boxes, ready to display your luxury stones for everyone to see. The Baby's Booty Ice Box, where our bling is the finer thing.